Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, which expression simplifies negative x squared plus 3x minus 2 times 2x minus 4, right? So we're looking for an expression that simplifies my problem. So basically, it means for us to work it out, right? Now, I did say multiply because anytime that you see parentheses, right, it means multiplication, okay? So how are we going to multiply? There's different ways to do it. You guys can do the distributive property, which a lot of people call it the FOIL method. Now, in this case, we have three terms on the first one, right, on the first section. So that means that talking about the FOIL method might not be the best way to address it. So you might think about distributive property, or we can do the box, right? Remember how we do the rectangle? Okay, so I have it right here, and feel free to draw your rectangle so that we can start writing the terms in here. Okay, so my first parenthesis, I am going to use all the terms to put them on my numerator. Okay, so start with negative x squared. And I'm going to say negative 1, okay, just because I like to write down a coefficient all the time. Okay, I'm going to draw a line here to separate that from the second term, which is 3x. Notice how 3x has a plus, therefore I'm just going to leave it like that, okay? Then I have a negative 2 because it says minus 2. Make sure you write down a negative 2. So far so good? All right, let's check the second one. Now in my second parenthesis, I have 2x minus 4. So I'm going to come to the width. My first term is going to be positive 2x. And I'm going to draw a line. Wow, that wasn't that straight, right? Sorry. And then the last one is a negative 4. So we're going to write down negative 4. Okay? Okay, so let's multiply. 2x times negative 1x squared gives me a negative 2x. And what do I do with the exponents? I add them, right? So it gives me a 3. Now I'm going to multiply 2x times 3x, right? And that gives me a 6x squared. And now I'm going to multiply 2x times negative 2, and that gives me a negative 4x. And we're done with the first row, right? Let's go to the next one. I'm going to multiply now negative 4 by each one of the terms on the length, which is the one above. Notice how in this problem, I never multiply negative 4 times 2x, right? So that's one of the things that I like about the rectangle, that it can really help me avoid getting confused when I'm multiplying. Let's do it. So multiply negative 4 times a negative 1. Negative times a negative gives me a positive. So I'm going to get 4x squared. Multiply negative 4 times a 3. Well, that's a negative 12x. And then negative 4 times a negative 2 is a positive 8. I normally don't write down the positive, so you don't need it. I just wrote it right now because when I'm writing all my terms, I want you to see why do I write a plus in there. Okay, so what do I do next? Well, we're going to need to bring every single term from the little boxes, right, and write them down. So I'm going to start with negative 2x cubed, and I'm going to go to the right. And I'm going to continue with 6x squared, go to the right, minus 4x. Got it? Okay, now we're going to go to the last one. 4x squared has nothing, so that means positive. Then minus 12x. And last but not least, plus 8. Okay, so these are all the terms that I got from my box, right? What we're going to do is we're going to combine like terms, right? So let me start with the first one. It has an x to the third power, or x cubed, right? Do you see anything else that has x to the third power? If you say no, that means that that term needs to come right here because I couldn't combine it with anything, right? Let's go to the next one. So now I want you to look at my x squared. Do you see anything that has x squared? Yes, it's right here, right? So let's highlight it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to work them out here on the right side of my box, and I'm going to write it down again. So it's a positive 6x squared and a positive 4x squared. Since both of them are positives, it actually gives me a 10x squared. Now remember that you do not add the exponents here. Okay, this is just combining like terms. I just take care of the 6 plus the 4. And let me come back and write it down here. Okay, let's go to the next one. What about, do you see anything that has x by itself? And I'm not talking about the coefficient. I'm talking about no exponent or an exponent of a 1, if you really want to put it like that, right? Yes, we do have another one, which is negative 12x. Okay, so those two that I highlighted right now, I'm going to bring them here. So that's a negative 4x and a negative 12x. Since both of them are negatives, I'm just going to add up the numbers and my answer will be negative, right? And this gives me a 16x. Okay, so let's write it down. And then my constant 8 has nothing else to be combined with, so I'm just going to bring it down. Okay, so let's look at the answer choices and see if you can tell me which one matches our answer. Okay, let's look at letter A. Does that look like our answer? It sure does, right? That looks exactly like the answer that we have. So that is actually our answer, right? But if you really want to confirm, you can go down the line and check on the rest of the answer choices. For example, B has negative 2x squared, and I don't have that. I have a positive 10x. Letter C has what? A negative 2x cubed, and that one has a positive. And letter D has a negative 2x squared, and I have a 10. So yeah, we confirm every single one of the answer choices. So sometimes if you find the answer right away, I still ask you to go down the line and check the answer choices, because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes we can overlook something, right? So that was the answer, guys.